Welcome back, Disc Golf World. It's Kevin Jones here, and with me is Luke Humphries. We are bringing you guys round 2 of the Texas State Disc Golf Championships presented by Latitude 64. Luke, how are you doing today, man?
Man, now that I am watching this card, even better. This is going to be a fantastic watch for you guys. Today we have Paul McBeth, Calvin Heimburg, Garrett Gurthie, and local Texan Emerson Keith. And we are at the super wooded Dogwood course here in Tyler, Texas, Kev.
Yeah, stacked card, and I'm very excited to bring you guys the action. This is the chase card, or third card.
Yeah, this is MPO3. This field is absolutely stacked. That's why we have such a good card for this MPO3. But lots of moves to be made. This is moving day, and we've got a huge hole here starting hole 1. Really not a birdie hole, Kev, for most of the field.
Yeah, there's definitely not a clear low line to this hole. Your best shots are going to be high hyzer bombs, swung out as far as they can be to the right side and then back in through the treetops. Calvin Heimburg, plenty of distance to do it here.
Yeah, we only had 2 people get it first day. Who are those people? I forgot.
Myself and Ricky.
Ricky Wysocki banged a big one. Calvin Heimburg going Tour Series Destroyer.
Calvin is going through the perfect spot right here.
That's a great line.
Okay, that is all you can do. Beyond that,
yeah,
not really much. If he gets lucky through those trees, he would have been parked.
Yeah. You can't hit the pine tree in the distance. It's a good aiming point. Just throwing it at the massive pine. It's probably 540, 550 feet off the tee box. You'll see all discs cutting in front of it. This is also a Calvin Heimburg Destroyer. Shout out to Pastry Dies. Garrett talked about this one the other day. That's a bomb from him.
So that's coming in a little bit early left, but as you can see, there's a little more air there. So yeah, that's a great result from Garrett.
A much more runnable putt from there. The angle's better. That soft sand allows you to kind of give it a bid without thinking about how far it's going to go past. Looking forward to seeing how Paul plays these woods. Really all of these guys, but always a pleasure to talk through a round that Paul is on. And this looks probably the best.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh, and it just catches some light stuff up there, high right side.
Drops it straight down.
Yeah, tough 2 from there, but easy 3.
Yep,
we'll probably run it, though.
Looks like these guys are teeing off into a headwind right now. Headwind right to left, probably. Not the best wind for this hole.
And that's a little early left from Emerson there. Okay, and depending on where it falls, will dictate how difficult your upshot's going to be. I'd say that one's going to be pretty tough.
Depending on which side of those trees he landed on, you could see it fall. Oh, no, yeah.
He's going for a touch Anheuser forehand flex shot here.
That's his flippiest Explorer. And it's gone way long right. That'll be a pitch out if he can do it properly from there. Drop something, buddy. Thanks to Bushnell, we see this one's 90-footer.
Wow, Calvin Heimburg with a huge start here, bringing himself 1 under par on the round. That's incredible.
Great start from him. Insane bid. Gives it a little clap and jogs it down. Curly locks flowing. Great way to start moving day. And just fortunate to end up in the position that he did, because you can see that Paul, we thought through the best shot, has no look at the birdie.
That's a really common result from Paul McBeth right there. A lot of times you'll be right behind that group of trees or a group of trees like that and have to play a flex shot around. Emerson was trying to give that a bid for his par, but he's now going to be about 20 feet for bogey.
Good effort from Garrett.
Garrett likes to give nice, high, soft bids from outside the circle, so he doesn't have very long comebackers whenever he has to have comeback putts.
Great bogey putt from Emerson. Be a terrible start to card a 5. Well done from him.
Yeah, awesome putt from the knee there. A big part of this course here at Dogwood is your ability to adapt and play shots that you're usually not practicing.
Yeah.
Such as that putt right there from a knee.
You're going to have to use a lot of creativity, spontaneity, to be able to roll with the punches as you play this Dogwood course.
So that brings us immediately into hole 2, averaging at 3.07, but don't let that fool you. It's got OB sprinkled throughout the hole, creating a really difficult hole. This hole can easily, as we showed yesterday, I found a 6 on this hole.
Yeah.
Easily. But it's also a very repeatable shot. It's a forehand, ideally down the middle, playing pretty straight the whole way and fading hard at the end. A backhand is not ideal, but can work as well.
Yeah, the backhand play is definitely trickier. This looks great. Oh, yeah.
Perfectly done from Calvin Heimburg.
Should be a stock shot for our top pros. 300-foot flat to hyzer forehand is something that being on tour, it's requirement.
Looking great from Garrett Gurthie as well. Not a doubt.
Little
right in the
robbed on
circle.
the skip, yeah. Might have a couple trees to deal with, but his straddle putt gives him an advantage in those type of situations. Paul going backhand.
I'm surprised by the play.
Totally surprised by the play. No,
Oh, he almost got around the left side, but that's a horrible kick, and that's going to put him OB, pretty much securing a 4 on the hole.
yeah. You could see him look down at his hand. We had like 89% humidity this day. It felt like we were swimming. Breathing was hard. It was just really sticky, and you could see him having some problems there. Emerson just sneaking by the one you have to sneak by.
Yeah, that's the last tree to beat right there. Emerson played that shot really well. Ooh, Paul given the spot on the other side of the creek. This is his putt for par.
Pretty good bid from him. Emerson right about a pace inside the circle. Great shot. Nice bounce back from him. Even par through 2 holes. Put it behind you. Just got himself in a tricky position on 1. Great putt from Garrett.
Yeah, it's nice to see that. That looked really comfortable. Hopefully he can carry that on for the rest of the round.
Yeah, it should give him some confidence. Good putt from Paul. A little irritated about that grip issue that he had. So we have 3 birdies in the bogey on that one. Headed into hole 3, Kev. One of the best holes on the park.
Yeah, hole 3, this is the gap right here we're flying through right now. The most important thing is that you're clearing somewhere in this area. Once you can get to around this part of the fairway, then you're starting to look at lines in order to attack the green. The best drives land just short of this creek right here, and then you're approaching the green, which is just a bunch of trees scattered around. There's a few clear lines, but you have to get creative on this hole, and that creek is OB as well, so you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Calvin going eagle for flat. Not a kick left.
Kicking early left is huge trouble. It's not like you're going to go out of bounds that way, but
No.
man, it's super thick over there, and it's also really muddy off the fairway here.
Yeah, and the layup shot from there requires something in like a 10-40 range to get yourself back in position.
Ooh, Garrett coming early as well.
I guess Florida's that way. Our boys are both headed down there. So on a hole like this, you can't pick the upshot that you're going to have. There's just too many trees. The technicality is too high. So when we're practicing, throw down 4 or 5. Oh my goodness.
It's like a magnet on the left side here. I mean, this just goes to show this gap is a troublemaker. It's so hard.
Yeah, picking up with what I said, just setting yourself 4 or 5 down and being able to get up and down from everywhere. Just versatile with that.
These are scenarios that Paul McBeth usually feasts on, and he did just that right there. He sees everybody else struggling with the hole, and I almost feel like it gives him more confidence that he's going to nail it.
Yeah, he's about to pick up 2 on him. He feels it.
So now we're about to see a bunch of creativity. Ouch, Garrett hitting his hand on that vine. That's pretty good. I mean, he looked like he covered a bunch of ground.
Kicked left. You could see him upset about it. It just pinches off your angle if you're short left. Anything right side of the fairway opens it up. Even as this drifts away, his angle gets better.
Yeah, that is a smart play from Emerson. Hanging on the right side of that fairway definitely opens up your upshot.
Yeah, he should have a good look to save par from there. It's Calvin's Firebird. He likes what Emerson did. Puts it in a very similar position.
Yeah, we're seeing really strategic disc golf right here. I like it. This is what the woods can bring us. Garrett is finding this high hyzer here. I know the exact gap that he's looking at right there.
Yeah.
That's definitely the play. He almost does it perfectly.
Yeah. And this is tricky. Look, that's a Pioneer from Emerson.
Wow. Great angle. Pretty great shot as well.
Yeah.
I mean, circle's edge.
Just to give himself a putt after a drive like that. A kick like that, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. There's these few trees that Calvin's not really dealing with too much here because he's a little bit closer, but those are the trees that you don't want to hit.
Getting a little squeaky around the backside of that tree. I'm guessing he wasn't playing that, but he's so good with that rhino in his hands.
Yeah, the general direction is always on point when the rhino's in his hand.
Finally, we get to Paul's drive.
Wow, probably trying to make it there.
Guaranteed.
Paul McBeth.
Chain high.
That was a sweet drive, making a very routine birdie, which you just don't see very often on this hole.
No, when you absolutely pimp the drive like that, though, it does make the hole easier. You can see that.
Garrett is just off on the inside there. Now here's Emerson. This is for par.
Yeah, from about 45.
So Emerson going to be carding a bogey. Here's Paul's birdie look.
Yeah, as my boy Ian would say, he's getting strokes on folks.
He is. Anytime you're birdieing this difficult hole, you're definitely going to be feeling good.
That's good par from Calvin, though. He took the same kick as Garrett and Emerson, but he was able to scramble.
Yeah, once you take that kick on inside left, your best score is going to be a 4. So it was good to see him execute that score. Emerson was not able to do that, nor was Garrett.
Yeah, this hole had some big numbers.
Hole 4, par 4, 474 feet. This tee shot is only 190 feet to the desired landing area. After that, you're throwing about 200 feet up the hill, and that's it. It's a really short hole, but your landing zone needs to be on point because it's a very small landing area.
Yep.
And then there's only one gap really to attack this green. If you're early right, there is an extra gap that you'll at least be afforded an opportunity at.
Yeah.
But long is not really much of an option.
Yeah, your work's cut out for you as you play this hole. It's a landing zone, and then you have a straight shot down the hallway.
Okay, so Paul McBeth cutting off early right, as I said. I believe that's going to be close to that gap that I was talking about, but it's going to be really tight and really cut off for him. Getting a birdie is going to be impressive.
I'm surprised to see him go backhand again when it's such an easy chip forehand that he's got. Guaranteed he's got it.
For sure. It's a really short shot, and he's definitely got it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we saw him errantly throw one on 2, cost him when it was an easy forehand, and then there again.
Garrett also going for the backhand. It needs to get right quickly. Oh, yeah, perfectly done, it looks like, from Garrett. He looks to be looking straight down the gap, which is what you want.
Emerson going a little higher speed. This looks like a stiletto from him. Possibly going lower.
That is lower from Emerson. I would probably think that needs to slow down, and it definitely does. So he's going to be showing us what long looks like. He's going to probably have to opt for a forehand flex from there to get down the tunnel. Paul from well early, there's not much of a gap here, actually. He's definitely trying to get lucky.
Yeah. Knows his disc has a way better chance of getting up the fairway if it's 1 inch wide instead of 8 inches wide. So he throws it down. Love the play.
Emerson, just a little bit long here, showing you exactly what it looks like when you push this back line of trees.
This is honestly, it's a great place for him to be. He's so good at that turnover harp forehand. Kind of misses it there, leaks it. He'll have a putt from outside circle 1, but
yeah, it sure is. That plays really nice to his game. As Calvin would prefer to have this putter shot right here. This is an AVR that he just plays on a slight hyzer and flips up to almost flat. That's inside the circle. He'll be looking at a birdie.
Yeah, a little robbed. Looked like he clipped a tree, kicked him back about 7 feet. And this is perfect position for Garrett. This is the same Sonic he threw off the tee, so Sonic for Garrett.
Wow.
Ooh. Little
wow.
Oh my gosh.
Beautifully done from Garrett Gurthie there. Did he go Sonic off the tee?
Yeah.
Okay, Sonic. I like it. Sonic can get really far to the right, further to the right than a forehand probably. That was a really tough putt from Paul. I mean, that was 60 feet through some trees.
Daddy. A little left, a little short. Kind of an interesting vibe on this card right now. Everybody a little solemn. I think I'd describe them as, you know. I mean, it's a national tour event. Obviously, you know, they're taking it serious and whatever, but these are all, well, there's a smile there, but happy-go-lucky guys, and it just doesn't seem like there's, I don't know, maybe I'm off.
It's hard to tell for me. I mean, it's hard to tell the vibes.
Yeah, they're not exactly rolling at the moment.
I can say that, like, it is pretty much, like, just them four and the camera crew, so, like, and then you're really far into these woods here as well, so
yeah,
it gets kind of tranquil.
It does. Front nine plays harder than the back nine, so they're encountering critically hard shots that can alter the entirety of their rounds if they mess them up, you know.
Exactly. And that's a good putt from Paul, finding his par. Emerson finding par as well. These guys are really wanting to find a birdie on this hole.
Yeah.
But it's so specific that sometimes the birdie just isn't quite there for you.
Yeah, it's the easiest hole of the first four, so it's surprising that these guys aren't grabbing it. Quick look in at the leaderboard. Adam Hammies came out early this morning and just slaughtered the course. Sick 10 under round, matching the hot score from yesterday.
Wild. Already turned in a 10 down. That's awesome.
Jumped himself all the way back up there.
Hole 5 is a crazy hole. Insanely difficult par 3. Only 306 feet. I'd say it probably plays a little bit longer than that. This is where your disc is usually traveling down during its final moments down the fairway. It needs to get a little bit lucky or greasy through the end of its flight if you're throwing the turnover down the middle line. There is an optional high left line that you could throw a forehand through, but this is the middle line from Garrett right here.
Looks a little straight, not turned over enough.
Amazing, though. It's still a pretty good shot. Anything down this fairway to like where Garrett landed to where you're going to for sure get a 3 is exactly what we're looking for.
Totally. If you can land back in that little fairway. Ooh, that's inside. Oh, that's greasy. No way.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, did that hit a tree?
I don't think it did.
I can't explain to anybody how that shot worked then. It seemed early right the whole time.
That line doesn't exist, yeah.
But
no.
It looked to be the perfect shot, so.
Quite absurd.
I like it. Calvin's still going high flick. Did he get lucky through it?
He's going to end up by the path, I think. You know, that's the line that we were talking about the other day that we practiced with him. The errant shots, really, they don't end up being as penalized as the inside shots do.
Right, not quite as penalized, and I think that's what we're going to see from Calvin. It could be tough, though, if he's on the right side still. And that's a lace job from Emerson. Needs to get lucky through the end of it. And it does.
Oh my.
One of the best shots you will ever see on the hole. At least one of the cleanest forehands.
Sick catch cam job from Bob. He nearly aced that. Skipped it over the basket. Anything getting to the basket or past it
is really good.
It's in the 1% of tee shots that ever play this hole.
For sure. And Calvin running that putt, because if he misses, the furthest look he's going to have is from, 20 feet maybe, just a little uphill. So I love that he runs it there. Here's his comeback putt right here. Let's see how far he is. That's about 20 feet uphill.
Just enough. Par's good on this one. Came in as the hardest hole on the course today.
Paul finding a birdie as well.
Yeah, Paul and 12 other players able to grab the birdie, but we had 6 triple bogeys on the hole. Over a dozen double bogeys. This hole had teeth, and the second you get off track, especially short right, you just end up in jail throwing shots 6 feet. And
Exactly. This hole gets hard fast.
Have you discovered disc golf yet? Get started on the right track with a prime starter set from Dynamic Discs featuring the Escape, Truth, and Judge. The Escape is a controllable driver that flies straight at low speeds and can handle enough power to get massive distance. The Truth is a straight flying mid-range for maximum control, and the Judge is our most popular putter, trusted by our pros around the basket and off the tee. These starter set discs are made in our affordable prime plastic for a great price. We've got more discs, bags, and everything you need to get better at Dynamic Discs.
all right, guys, here we are, hole 6. And I just want to take a second to shout out the Disc Barn. These guys have been supporting our drone coverage for the entirety of our Texas swing, and they're going to continue doing so. Go visit them, thediscbarn.com. Thank you guys for the support. Hole 6, Kev.
Hole 6, 243 feet. Hit this straight putter shot or face the consequences of the trees. There's a OB creek in the middle of the hole, so if you hit a tree somewhere around the middle to the late part of the fairway, you could be looking at an out of bounds and a pretty much guaranteed 4.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to take a 4 on this really short hole. Paul's drive looking great. Long, though.
Caught a little tree to keep him inside the circle. I'm sure he was trying to dial that one up. Emerson, so good at that harp forehand. He's just going with it. A little bit of flip up. You'll see some hyzer out of the hand. He's just confident hitting the gap, getting it on the ground, and letting it slide.
Yeah, even if he's sacrificing a putt of like 30 feet, it's still a really good play. And let's see, that's pretty much exactly what it is. About a 35-footer there.
Yeah.
Cannot knock him for that.
Nope.
I took a 5 on this hole yesterday, so I can just tell you that it can be hard.
It happens quick. I like what Double G's doing here, toning it down a bit, just touching one of his Color Glow Rock 3s.
Ooh, the late flip on that shot, but also the same thing, going long. He's throwing a mid-range.
That mid-range cost him there, yeah. But for accuracy reasons, he's guaranteeing himself a putt. And we saw Calvin demonstrate this shot perfectly yesterday. A little bit of Anheuser out of the hand.
Calvin gave me a nice tip on this shot. He really focuses on where he's lining up his run-up.
That's how you do it. When you're in Texas, you slide that sucker up.
Beautifully done. He found in practice that he was running up a little bit too much to the left side of the fairway, so he straightened it up a little bit, and I'm telling you, his practice is paying off right now, right?
Yeah.
2 for 2 so far?
Yeah, dialed. I'm sure he's been 5 feet max.
Okay, Garrett from long.
Is he going to hyzer it around that tree?
No, inside of the tree.
I think it was probably just right in the way.
It was going to be a squeeze for sure. Paul from long as well. This is about 30 feet, well obstructed. Let's see how he attacks it. Oh, man.
You were right, well obstructed.
Yeah, I mean, he literally had to bend the disc in there, completely alter his putt. Emerson with a straighter look at it.
That's
and is
gross.
Not able to cash in the right side.
Hate seeing that. That thing touched all kinds of chains on the right. Should have stayed. Ooh. And then that grabs a couple and swings itself in. Typical of these baskets, though, you kind of see that right side hyzer swing in. So just Calvin's birdie on the 243-foot straight putter shot.
That is wild.
Interesting.
But at least they're getting pars.
Yeah.
Not losing too much on that hole. The next hole is a par 4 at 420 feet, so really short par 4. This is hole 7. Great tee shots are hyzers that beat these guardian trees right here that we are entering. If you can beat these trees, then your upshot is only dependent on these trees that are in the creek here. And if you can beat these trees on your upshot, you're going to be looking pretty good. Probably an inside the circle look for birdie.
All right, you guys got that? Trees, miss them, beat them, get past them, birdie.
Yeah, there's so many trees. Hard to describe the landmarks because of that, but doing my best. And that's looking inside from Calvin Heimburg. Could be costly.
Hard to tell where it ended up. There's a ravine there. If he's on the left side of it, birdie in play. Right side of it, it gets a little trickier. Ooh, okay, and I'm getting word kicked across the creek to the right, so that will be tricky for him. Perfect looking play from McBeth. And the kick and the slide.
Man, that
he'll
awesome.
be running that, I'm sure.
Yes, he will. He's way up the fairway, probably within 100 feet.
Prime position. Look like an understable fairway. I love this play from Emerson.
Nice. That was great to see come in.
Right next to Paul. 2 ways to skin this cat. Both properly done. Both will have eagle bids. Garrett going destroyer. Pushing the back edge. And it does catch a bit. He'll have a chance to save his birdie, though. Like you said, 420 feet, it's really not out of the question. Calvin looking like he's laying down a Firebird roller.
This is aggressive from Calvin. He's probably just trying to get up into that ditch somewhere. But where his disc landed, he'll luckily be able to at least have a chance at saving par.
Ooh.
Garrett going huge flex forehand from here.
Yeah, Color Glow T-Bird. And he's made it right at circle's edge.
Wow. Wow, what a shot from Garrett Gurthie right there. I thought it was fading out a little early, but no. That's a great looking bid from there.
Okay.
Oh, and that's going to cost Calvin, so inside, that's tough.
It was a little gap he was aiming for. Yeah, he was going with the T-Bird. And this looks like 90 feet or so. Stay up.
Jump putt approach from Emerson. Let's see what Paul's looking at.
Easy birdie after the aggressive drive. Do it. Played the hyzer around the tree. That looked great from him. And Paul, 85 feet, looks like.
Come on, you turned it way too much.
It's going to be on the right side from Paul, but easy birdie for him. I mean, that's the furthest backhand that I've seen.
Yeah, same. Oh, yeah. What a scrambling birdie from Garrett to throw that second shot. Super high Anheuser forehand. Demonstrating he's got proficiency both ways and then snagging the putt to go with it.
That's awesome. Great way to keep your round going.
Yep. Easy birdie from Paul. Yeah.
And Emerson and Calvin actually going to be losing 2 strokes on those boys.
Yeah. That's what you see if you hit early and start to mess with that right side. He got a horrible kick, and it cost him. Hole 8, new hole, hard hole. One of the best holes on the course, though.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most difficult holes on the course. Is it the most difficult hole, Luke?
It's not 5 played as the most difficult today, 1 yesterday, but hole 8 definitely hard. Playing is the 3rd most difficult today.
The cleanest line on this hole is a forehand flex for a right-handed person. It starts on the right side of the fairway, it moves far to the left, and then ends up hooking up back to the right. That's your cleanest line at the hole, but the most forgiving line is probably a backhand.
Yeah. It won't be a play for the green. Might give you a long putt. And this is getting pretty greasy.
Wow, that is as greasy as you can get. He traveled way up the fairway. Was that early in on the left side the whole time?
I believe so, which is what you see a lot of times from guys trying to force it over straight out of the hands. If you're Anheisering out, you've got maybe a foot or 2.
Yeah, this hole is really hard to shape with an Anheuser forehand.
Right.
It's way better to have a flat forehand that starts flying straight and then works to the left.
It's got to be a late flipping forehand, which increases the technicality of the shot immensely. But for our higher up players, somebody like yourself, for instance, who's got that late flipping forehand.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy action from Garrett Gurthie there. Going backhand.
Past 9's tee box.
Yeah, so far right side fairway. He's got a lot of trees in between him and the basket, but it's doable, I would say.
Yeah. Never played a shot from over there. But
Calvin with the destroyer, trying to have some redemption from the last hole. That's pretty good looking. Early left side, though. I mean, it's a great play for 3, though. You can't complain with a 3 on this hole.
No.
This is another hole that you can find a lot of trouble with.
What is he doing? Going with this Sonic big Anheuser? Ooh.
And it catches some love that it needed all the way through the trees there. What a scramble from Garrett.
Yeah. Seriously. Calvin, knowing par is good on this hole, just pitches up under the bucket. See how aggressive Emerson wants to get. This looks like about 75.
This is a great landing zone for a tee shot. It's an uphill look from here, so everybody's running it.
Yeah. Soft green.
And then here is where Paul's drive landed. This is a jump putt at the basket as well.
Just a little bit off. Yeah, we only had 6 birdies on this hole. I think that's part of the reason it played a third of a stroke over par. There were 7 double bogeys and 20 bogeys. Lots of people finding trouble early off the tee, most likely, and then just chopping their way up to the green. That's just a tough one.
Yeah, there's just so many layers of trees that if you don't travel halfway up the fairway, you've got so many trees to beat on your upshot to save par, so many bogeys happen on that hole. And that is going to bring us to our final hole of the front 9. This is a basic hole averaging at 2.73 strokes per player. It is only 351 feet, and this is your basic backhand mid-range. It's most of the time going to be coming flat out of your hand, maybe a slight hyzer release, starting on the left side of the fairway, or just flying really straight.
Yeah, this is a pretty stock shot for our high-level professionals. Looks like Paul's going putter.
Throwing a putter means he's going to have to put more height on it, as he does there. I mean, it's really well played from Paul.
Yeah.
Almost basket high. There are a couple trees in between him and the basket, but shouldn't be a problem for him.
Yeah, Emerson going fairway driver. This is his Flippy Explorer.
Emerson is easily one of the best players in the world at throwing Explorers, first of all, but fairway drivers on lines like that.
Either skipping the basket or hit.
So dialed. He's had that thing for a while. That's like a sparkle or shimmer, whichever one that is. He's so good at that disc. Color Glow Rock 3 from Double G. That needs to get greasy. Kind of does. Looks like about 40.
Yeah, it sure did. A lot of discs that travel through that much of the right side don't usually have a look at the basket, but that one looks like it might.
It has a first run Big Bird Rock 3 from Calvin. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Still turning. I mean, you're going to love it. The thing is, it slopes back down towards the basket there, so if you're hyzering out to the left, especially if you're hyzering out early left, you're going to catch some nice ground play towards the hole. It's only going to help.
Always does it. You can guarantee it.
That's a hard run from Garrett right there with the Sonic, and this part of the basket looks weird.
Yeah, you can have tricky putts from right over here.
You sure can. The trees are pretty close together, and if you're close to them, sometimes they can kind of mess with your arms, make you have a different putt. This is Paul going through what looks to be a pretty tight gap.
Really small gap. Yeah.
Yeah, a really small gap. I couldn't tell if those trees were in front or behind. They were in front of the basket. He turned his putter on hyzer to make it smaller.
Pretty nasty. Oh, yeah. Grabbing 3 birdies as we take a look at the Dogwoods here on this Dogwood course in Tyler, Texas. That rounds out the front 9. Nobody going bogey free that front 9, but plenty of birdies, and we're headed towards the easier 9, Kev.
That's right. So we're looking forward to seeing many birdies from our card mates here. Calvin at 3 under on his 9. Not a bad start. Anything 3 to 5 under is awesome, and honestly has a great chance to shoot way up the leaderboard to the top.
Yeah, Rick Wysocki, 6 through 8. That's the hot start. You need to shoot a real scorcher on this course.
Wow, 6 down through 8. That's got to be some of the best pace that you could see.
Yeah, Chris Clemens, 9 through 16, pushing as well. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been Texas State Championships brought to you guys by Latitude 64. It's been an honor being with you here, Kevin.
It's only been a pleasure, Luke, and I'm looking forward to bringing everybody the back 9.
Yeah, we'll see you guys there.